Welcome to The Explainer. If you've ever looked at the booming Indian real estate market and wondered how you could actually get a slice of that massive pie, well, you are in the exact right place. Today, we're using a construction blueprint metaphor to take what is normally a completely overwhelming 50-point checklist and transform it into your ultimate step-by-step guide. We're going to break down exactly what it takes to build a thriving real estate empire in India, literally from the ground up. Okay, let's just jump right into the agenda. We're breaking this whole process down into 5 clear phases: laying the foundation, setting up the business, building your network, sales and marketing, and finally, operations and growth. Now, right out the gate, there is an absolute non-negotiable rule before you lay a single brick. Comprehensive local research has to happen before you make any financial investment. Not a single rupee should be spent on an office space or branding or marketing until you really understand the market dynamics. Who's buying? What exactly are they looking for? Is there a huge oversupply of commercial space but a total shortage of affordable housing? This initial research is your true starting capital. Skipping it is basically the fastest way to fail. So let's kick things off with phase 1, laying the foundation, which is all about putting education first. Before you do anything else, you've got to get your license. And in the Indian market, that specifically means understanding and strictly registering under REA compliance. RERA stands for the Real Estate Regulatory Authority. Listen, this isn't just a suggestion or some nice-to-have piece of paper. It's a mandatory legal framework designed to protect buyers and bring some real transparency to the sector. By getting a grip on your RERA obligations early, you don't just keep yourself out of legal trouble, you instantly build a ton of trust with your clients. They absolutely want the security of dealing with the registered professional. And this is a great illustration of why you need to pick your niche early on, because the skills and the capital you need are wildly different depending on your role. Over on the left, we've got the agent or broker. They facilitate the deals and earn commissions. That takes relatively lower financial capital, but massive human capital. We're talking pure hustle, networking, and sharp negotiation skills. Then on the right, you've got the developer or investor. These are the folks building or funding the actual projects. That carries way higher risk and requires massive capital. But obviously, the rewards are much higher too. You can't be all things to all people on day one, especially in a market as energetic and chaotic as India. You have to decide which side of this dynamic you belong on. You've also got to master the paperwork. Seriously, a gorgeous property is essentially worthless if the legal title is a mess. You need to learn how to confidently read and interpret title deeds and encumbrance certificates. On top of that, you've got to understand the heavy taxation elements in India. Things like stamp duty, GST on under-construction properties, capital gains tax, and TDS rules. Why? Because your clients are going to look to you as their advisor. If you can clearly explain the tax implications of a deal, you instantly elevate yourself from just a simple salesperson to a highly trusted consultant. All right, with that knowledge foundation poured, let's move to phase 2, setting up the business and getting official. The big shift here is moving from a side hustle mindset into a true corporate mindset. You need to formally pick a legal structure. Are you going to be a sole proprietorship, an LLP, or a private limited company? Talk to an expert, weigh the options, and make the call. Secure your GST number if your turnover requires it. And crucially, actually, this is where so many beginners completely drop the ball. You absolutely must separate your personal finances into a dedicated business bank account. Mixing your personal grocery bills with a client's earnest money, that's a total recipe for disaster. Set a realistic startup budget and actually stick to it. Once you're legally set up, you need to build your digital storefront. Real estate today is 100% a digital-first game. You need a professional logo and a solid brand identity. But even more importantly, you have to be visible exactly where the buyers are looking. That means getting heavily involved with the primary listing platforms like Magic Bricks, 99 Acres, and Housing.com. Oh, and behind the scenes? Please don't wait until tax season to get organized. Implement accounting software from day one so you can track every single expense and commission. Now that the business is standing, phase 3 is building your network by assembling your allies. Real estate is, at its core, a relationship business. You've got to proactively recruit industry allies. Think of lawyers and CAs as your compliance shield during those really complex transactions. They will literally save deals that would otherwise fall apart over a tiny technicality. You also need warm, solid relationships with bank loan officers to help your buyers get their funding quickly. Connect with civil engineers and architects to verify property quality. And strategically, you've got to target key buyer segments, like NRI investors. Non-resident Indians are a massive, high-value demographic, and they're constantly looking for reliable professionals on the ground in India to manage their investments. The framework is up, your network is primed, so let's hit phase 4, sales and marketing, and actually acquiring customers. The secret sauce here is implementing a modern marketing funnel. The days of just tossing an ad in the Sunday paper are long gone. Step 1, start with high-quality professional media. Invest in great photography, maybe even get some drone footage for premium properties so they really pop online. Step 2, take that media and run highly targeted Google and social media ads. You can even geofence particular housing societies, which is huge. Step 3, capture those leads and hit them with direct outreach using WhatsApp broadcasts and monthly email newsletters. In the Indian market, WhatsApp is an absolute powerhouse of a business tool. Use it to send new listings and price drops straight to interested buyers. And finally, we arrive at the last phase, operations and growth. It's time to scale the empire. To handle the pipeline of buyers that your awesome new marketing is generating, you absolutely need a CRM, a customer relationship management tool. Now, you could use a robust enterprise tool like Salesforce, but honestly, in the beginning, this can literally just be a hyper-organized Google Sheet. The technology you use matters way less than the discipline of actually using it. You need one centralized place to track every single lead, what their specific property requirements are, and your follow-up dates. Trust me, if it's not in the CRM, it basically didn't happen. As you're operating in this incredibly fast-paced environment, I want you to burn this golden rule into your brain. Never skip a written agreement, even for small deals. Never, ever rely on verbal handshakes. I don't care how friendly the client seems. Whether it's a tiny rental commission or a massive multi-core land acquisition, document absolutely everything. Proper due diligence and solid written agreements are quite literally the ultimate insurance policy for your hard work. To truly grow and leave your competitors in the dust, you've got to transition from broad, city-level knowledge to totally mastering the micromarkets. The best brokers out there, they know the price trend of every single lane. Real estate is hyperlocal. Property values can swing wildly just one street over. But at the same time, you've got to keep an eye on the macro factors. Watch those RBI repo rate changes because when interest rates go up, buyer affordability drops. And definitely track new infrastructure projects. Upcoming metro stations or highways are basically crystal balls showing you exactly where property values are going to surge next. So, I want to leave you with this provocative thought as you take this blueprint and launch your own business. Are you tracking your metrics relentlessly? Or are you just guessing your way to growth? Because if you aren't obsessively tracking your cost per lead, your conversion rates, your average deal size, and your time to close, well, you aren't truly managing a business, you're just sort of hoping for the best. Measure everything, reinvest your profits, and build your empire one brick at a time. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer.